joining us on the phone, Mike Baker, who is Senior Vice President and General Manager at hCentive, particularly over their WebInsure, which is their broker benefit marketplace. Mike, good morning and welcome.
Thanks for having me today.
Great to have you. I think you've got a very important topic. I mean, we've got brokers across the country trying to figure out this exchange piece. But before we kind of jump into that, Mike, give our audience a little background on hCentive and specifically this WebInsure, this new broker marketplace you guys have out in the market.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So hCentive was started back in 2009, primarily as a way to focus on the ACA, the number of changes that are coming out with the ACA. We were founded by three guys that have been in the technology space for over 20 years. Very first client was Coventry. We provided the technology for My Coventry One, that portal that was used by more than 20,000 brokers across the United States. We then entered into the government space and were able to secure contracts with, on the first go live, the state of New York, Colorado, and Kentucky, all three of which did very well during the first open enrollment period with the ACA. After that, in year two, we were brought into Massachusetts to help them fix a number of problems that they had making the transition from Romney Care to the ACA, and have now processed more than 1 million enrollments for the state of Massachusetts. The same year, we were also brought in to manage FFM shops. So we now provide the FFM shop functionality in all the FFM states. And also, we're just recently awarded the Arkansas shop contract, and have now we'll be going live with them for this most recent upcoming open enrollment. So that's kind of our history on the government side. We've also been involved with payers for quite some time and provide either single carrier private exchanges to a number of large health insurance payers, as well as a middleware product called Exchange Manager that connects payers to all 50 of the different marketplaces around the country. In between all of those products, as well as what we're doing on the commercial side, we've processed about 7.2 million of all of the FFM enrollments over the course of last year. I was brought in to stand up the WebInsure Benefits platform, which is a private exchange which is being marketed to large brokers across the United States, and we'll be going live with that on 11/1 in the individual market, and then on 1/1 in the group market.
Great. Congratulations on that. Mike, talk
Thank
about, I mean, I think it's incredibly important. I mean, I speak to a lot of broker groups, and, you know, they're more and more engaged. Their eyes are still glossed over a lot of times, like deer looking in the headlight. But they're getting it, and they're understanding it. But you talk about the top reasons a benefit marketplace is crucial for brokers. Can you expand upon that, please?
Yeah, the number one thing that I'm consistently hearing from brokers in the market is that they feel the need to have a digital storefront. They need to be able to compete head-to-head with some of these government exchanges that are out there. They need to be able to compete head-to-head with other online platforms. And in order to maintain relevance in both the individual, small group, and large group spaces, they really need to have their own digital storefront. So that's kind of the one theme that I'm picking up pretty consistently from a lot of the brokers that we're talking to. The other thing is, when you look at the technology itself, then you look at where the changes have occurred in the law, particularly in the individual and the small group space. A broker now has the ability to do what I like to call a one-call close. They can literally sit down with a consumer or a small business person, and if they've got this technology, they literally have the marketplace at their fingertips. They have the ability to shop products, determine the best fit for that business or that individual, make a decision across different product lines, medical, dental, vision, ancillary products, etc., and essentially enroll them in those products all across the same platform. And that's a pretty big pickup from where we've been over the last 5 or 10 years. And so I think a lot of brokers are also seeing this as a huge opportunity to close more sales more efficiently.
Yeah, I can't get off this call without getting your perspective on this too, because I think, to remain competitive in the space, they need this tool, correct? I mean, this is a much needed competitive tool for them to maintain customers and win new customers. Agree?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's I think something that's very important, and why we're pushing out into this private marketplace now. I think there's definitely a need to have this type of solution to be at the table. I mean, when you look at what's going on across the market with Zenefits and a number of other Zenefit-like companies, as a broker, if you want to be able to compete, you're going to need to provide a technology platform that makes it easier on your customers to purchase, maintain, and manage these benefit plans.
And then the value of what you have with that trust and credibility comes out clearly to that client too. That client is not inclined to move to Zenefits if you have a solution that can compete and you are there with it and they trust you with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get, overly excited sometimes with the technology piece of this. And while I view it as extremely important, this is a relationship business. I've been in this market for 20 some odd years. This has been a relationship business since the beginning. It'll always be a relationship business, whether you're talking about an individual consumer or a small business person or an HR person at a large group. They all want to be able to talk to an expert and find out or be reassured that the decision they're about to make is the right one. I don't think anybody should think that this stuff isn't complicated, because it is, especially to people who aren't involved in this marketplace. Trying to understand and unravel the complexities of some of these products is very difficult, and there's definitely a need for technology to help ease some of that difficulty and educate and explain. But at the end of the day, I still think it comes down to having a trusted advisor who can really help guide and reassure these people as to the decisions they're making.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you any more, Mike. I think you're dead on mark there. Talk to me about specifically WebInsure. There's a lot of choices out there for brokers coming at them. But what is some of the uniqueness of the WebInsure benefit marketplace for brokers?
Well, we've got a pretty good platform full of carriers, and I think that's something that a broker should be looking at right out of the gate. You want to make sure you've got good coverage with the carriers that you work with, both on the health and ancillary side. So I think that's number one consideration or criteria for just about any broker that's considering any type of marketplace. But I think that we've done a fairly good job on that, and we'll continue to expand these relationships pretty rapidly over the course of the next few years. The second thing is the company truly a partner, or are they somebody that you may find yourself competing with? Because there are a lot of mixed business models out in the space today, and I think brokers need to think about that. I think you should be looking for someone who can truly partner with you and help you bring the technology to the market in a manner in which, number one, it's going to be in your best interest for growing and maintaining your block of business. And then number two is in line with what your marketing plans are. I mean, that's the other thing that I've seen a number of times is, it's just not about buying technology and turning it on. It's about how you're going to use it and how you're going to position it for your groups and for your individual customers in the market. And, truly having a partner that understands that, so that technology is utilized in a manner in which you can be successful with it in the marketplace, I think would be the third thing that every broker should be looking for.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, talk about branding. How do you co-brand, private label, brand? I mean, how do you work with your broker partners there?
So we white label it, so it'll always be the broker's exchange. So it'll be ABC Insurance Exchange. And then, at the bottom it says powered by WebInsure Benefits or something along those lines. But it's all branded for our specific broker customers.
I think that's That's a big concern with brokers. I think that's a very important strategy. I mean, I commend you on that because I mean, like I say, I talk to a lot of broker groups, and that's probably one of the first things that pops up from them. You know, they're looking for a partner that enable them to be the dominant brand because they have that relationship in the market with their clients.
Well, it speaks to the whole need for the digital storefront. So, I mean,
Yep.
if it's a digital storefront, it needs to be your digital storefront, right? I mean,
Right.
you need to be able to utilize that brand, and quite frankly, that's what will help drive additional volume.
Yep. Mike, you talk about revenue and enabling brokers to grow the business. I mean, one of the initial concerns from brokers is what they're going to lose on potential major medical, commissions. But so talk a little bit about how a benefit marketplace allows brokers to really increase their business and increase their revenue.
So I think one thing that we ask our brokers to do is just step back a second and take a look at your customer acquisition cost. What does it take for you to acquire a customer? How expensive is that? And once you've done that study, then step back and say, how will this technology enable that cost to come down? So that's the first step as far as acquiring new business. How do you go about that? What does that cost you today? And then how can you bring that cost down? Utilizing this technology on a go-forward basis. So I think that's the first thing. Second thing is your renewal block of business. How does the technology help you make that more efficient? And, of course, the first way you've got to look at that is what is it costing you to process a renewal today? What does it cost you to shop the market today? That's a fairly expensive proposition when you stop and look at it. And how can the technology make that more efficient going forward?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Mike, it's been great having you on the program. I want to enable you to leave our audience with a couple key takeaways, and also to the broker groups that may be listening to this program either now or as a podcast later. Let them know how they can contact you directly to talk to you more about this opportunity.
Sure. So, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys today. If you're thinking about a benefits marketplace, please go to www.hcentive.com. Our contact information is there right under our broker and aggregators tab. Please feel free to reach out to our folks, or you can email us at sales@hcentive.com. We think that you'll find that we're probably the best business partner in the marketplace, given our success in the government space and our depth of knowledge of this market and what we're doing in the private side. I think you'll find that we're a very strong business partner for a number of large agencies across the country.
Mike, thank you so much. You have a great weekend up there, and look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.